At Katt Williams, who's getting exposed next? Hashtag Katt has the answers.
He said came true. So there's some truth to everything that he knows, and the fact that he's saying I held back a little bit, he probably has stuff on people, and he just used jabs instead of throwing that haymaker. He could have. I'm assuming it could have ended career.
Kim Porter was working on a book before she died.
Y'all, let me take you back to where it all began, because the first person who allegedly got buried because of Diddy's secrets will shock you to your core. It was his own mentor. Picture this: young, ambitious Diddy at Uptown Records, where Andre Harrell took him under his wing like a father figure. Together, they were building this incredible music empire that had everyone talking. But you know how it goes in this industry. Drama started brewing, and before you knew it, Diddy was packing his Louis Vuitton bags and starting Bad Boy Records on his own. Now, here's where things get seriously suspicious. Fast forward to 2020, and suddenly, Andre Harrell tragically passed away at 59 from heart failure. They called it natural causes, but honey, let me tell you, when you see how many others in Diddy's circle met similar fates, you'll be clutching your pearls. The word on the street is that Andre was about to blow the lid off everything with a tell-all book about Diddy, but before that tea could be served, he passed away, and that explosive book vanished into thin air like it never existed.
The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma.
But wait, because this rabbit hole goes so much deeper. Let's talk about Kim Porter, because this story still gives me chills every time I think about it. Her death in 2018 left the entire industry shook. She was just 47 and the medical examiner ruled it pneumonia. But darling, if you think that's the whole story, you better hold on to your seats, because what I'm about to tell you will make your head spin. Kim was reportedly working on her own tell-all book before she suddenly left us.
I just can't believe that somebody that had the normal flu, that had doctors on speed dial, that they had enough money that they could get the half of the hospital to come to the house and take care of her.
Now, this is where the story takes an absolutely chilling turn that'll have you sleeping with the lights on. When Kim died, Diddy didn't just show up at her house. He arrived with his whole security team like something straight out of a thriller movie. And what did they do first? Snatched her phone faster than you can say suspicious. Kim's closest friends were absolutely devastated and couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. And Chile, let me tell you why. Kim had sent texts to some friends saying, "He got me," and there are reports that will make your skin crawl about found on her pillowcases. As if that wasn't terrifying enough, there was allegedly a trail of leading to the bathroom. But hold on to your wigs, because the tea about that book Kim was writing is even more scalding. We're talking details that would make a reality show look like a children's program. The book supposedly exposed how Diddy treated her, isolation that would make a prisoner feel free, manipulation that would make a chess master blush, and bedroom secrets that would make 50 Shades look like a fairy tale. We're talking about Kim using certain intimate items to please Diddy, her house being wired like a CIA headquarters, and people watching her every move like she was in some twisted reality show. The poor woman couldn't even breathe without someone reporting back to Diddy. And the custody drama? Chile, that was a whole other level of mess. Diddy supposedly wanted those twins so badly, but Kim wasn't playing. She threatened to expose everything if he dared try taking her babies. When the book finally came out, it revealed horrors that went beyond anyone's worst nightmares. The torture Kim endured would make your blood run cold. Forced encounters, ritualistic behavior, and things so dark I can barely bring myself to repeat them. The details about how Diddy allegedly forced Kim into unthinkable situations, especially while she was pregnant, are absolutely devastating. Kim's ex-husband, A.L.B. Sure, tried to sound the alarm bells about her suspicious death on social media. He wasn't subtle either. Straight up called it red rum, spell it backward, honey, and posted messages like Kimberly didn't die of pneumonia. But here's where it gets even more terrifying. A.L.B. Shore ended up in a coma in 2022 with his organs mysteriously failing. The doctors couldn't figure out what was happening, and let's be real, in this story there are no coincidences.
And Albie Shore was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been?
And just when you think you've heard it all, let me tell you about Heavy D, another soul connected to Uptown Records who met a tragic end. Heavy D wasn't just any artist. He was one of Uptown's biggest stars and played a crucial role in Diddy's early career. But in 2011, at just 44 years young, Heavy D collapsed outside his Beverly Hills home and died from a pulmonary embolism caused by a clot in his lung. They tried to call it natural causes, but darling, at this point, we need to ask, how many natural deaths can one man be connected to before it stops being natural?
And the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died.
It's like there's this terrifying pattern that nobody wants to talk about. Anyone who gets too close to Diddy or dares to speak against him somehow ends up in life-threatening situations. And speaking of life-threatening situations, we need to talk about Biggie Smalls. His death remains one of hip-hop's biggest mysteries, and Diddy's name is written all over it in invisible ink. Picture the scene. Biggie and Diddy at an after-party. Everything seems fine. Then suddenly, tragedy strikes. Biggie was killed in a drive-by while sitting in his SUV.
Hold Ms. Waller's hand and explain to what happened to her son that night. It was one of the, I guess, most emotional times I've ever had in my life.
But hold on to your seats, because what Uncle Ron, Beyonce's former bodyguard, had to say about this will make your jaw hit the floor. He dropped a bombshell that shook the industry to its core. Uncle Ron claimed that Jay-Z and Diddy were conspirators in Biggie's demise. According to him, there was something much darker behind Biggie's death than just that East Coast-West Coast beef we all heard about. We're talking deep, dark industry secrets that would make a mafia boss nervous.
Finding out that he wanted all the rights to all his catalogs. I turned him down.
Uncle Ron was brave enough, or maybe desperate enough, to make this chilling tell-all video, connecting all the dots between Diddy and Biggie's death. But here's what'll send shivers down your spine. Less than 24 hours after releasing the video, Uncle Ron reportedly died under mysterious circumstances too, caused pneumonia at the age of 59. Are you seeing this pattern? Because it's screaming at us.
Uncle Ron, Beyonce's ex-bodyguard, who threatened to expose them. Yep, threatened to expose them, I believe, in 2023. Is deceased. He's passed away.
And just when you think this story couldn't get any more twisted, let me tell you about Craig Mack. He passed away in 2018 at just 47 from heart failure after completely disappearing from the spotlight. But here's the gag. He joined a cult and lived a quiet life in South Carolina. Craig joined this group in 2011, and what came out about that place would make a horror movie look like a Disney film. The truth about this cult will have you questioning everything. Former members came forward with stories about the leader, Ralph Stair, that'll make your skin crawl. This man was caught on camera a 2-year-old girl's during a worship service, among several other accusations. And this was the man Craig trusted with his life after leaving the industry. His death became yet another name in the growing list of untimely losses tied to Bad Boy Records.
Craig Mack went to his grave mad at Bad Boy. Craig Mack told his people, told those religious people, that don't let them pay for of mine.
Let me spill more tea about why Craig really left the industry. He was completely fed up with Diddy's controlling behavior. Sources close to Craig said he couldn't take how Diddy was trying to micromanage every breath he took. And remember, this is the same Diddy who got fired from Uptown Records for being too controlling. When Craig had the courage to stand up to him, baby, Diddy did not take it well. He straight up effectively buried his career at Bad Boy Records. The industry can be cold, but this was Arctic levels of freezing.
Craig Mack manager, right? Puff told Craig Mack if he didn't change management, he wasn't f***ing with him no more.
Now grab your tissues because the story of Anthony Wolf Jones will break your heart into a million pieces. This wasn't just another bodyguard. Wolf was Diddy's rock, his protector, and honestly, one of the main reasons Bad Boy Records even existed. He believed in Diddy so much that he invested $300,000 of his own money to help start the label. But as Diddy's star shot into the stratosphere, their brotherhood started crumbling like a cookie in hot coffee, exposing the darkest corners of Diddy's empire.
Wolf's mother let me hear something that the what they call it, the portion Atlanta, that Puff told Meech, go ahead and do what you gotta do. When him and Wolf was beefing outside.
While Diddy was living his best life in mansions and on yachts, Wolf was feeling completely betrayed. All he wanted was his $300,000 investment back so he could walk away and start fresh. But Diddy? He shut that down faster than a club at closing time.
Puff was putting the battery in Wolf's back, talking about, I don't need you no more. When I get do this Universal deal, I'm gonna give you $300,000 and leave you alone. Wolf said, you could never leave me alone. You understand?
The situation got messier than a toddler with finger paint when Wolf saw how Diddy was treating others in his circle. He wanted out. But honey, Diddy had other plans, and this is where it gets absolutely wild. According to Meech from BMF, yes, that BMF, Diddy deliberately stirred up drama between Wolf and BMF, knowing it would end in tears. Meech says Diddy literally told him he was done with Wolf and encouraged cutting ties. When Wolf found out about this betrayal, it was like lighting a match in a room full of gasoline.
Wolf get by some kids from BMF. Actually, the dude that he put down with BMF. This brags about cussing Wolf's mother out.
The tension finally exploded on that fateful night of November 11th, 2003. Wolf and his right-hand man, Lamont Rez Gertie, crossed paths with Big Meech and other BMF members outside Club Chaos in Atlanta. What happened next will haunt the Atlanta streets forever. One of Wolf's old friends, now rolling with BMF, turned on him mid-fight just to prove his loyalty. The guns came out, and both Wolf and Rez were gunned down right there on the cold concrete.
The standoff happened, Big Meech and those guys in self-defense and Wolf. And then once Big Meech gets off house arrest, Puffy throws him a big party.
But wait, because this story has another twist that'll make your head spin. After Wolf's death, whispers started circulating that he might have been Justin Combs' real father. And honey, once people started looking at those pictures side by side, they couldn't unsee the resemblance. Meech's recent comments have everyone in the industry doing double takes and connecting dots they never saw before.
Life really got real serious when we get married.
I put up a picture of Wolf and one of Puffy's sons, Justin Combs. Look at him.
And just when you think this story couldn't get any darker, we need to talk about Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter tragically passed away on November 5th, 2022, in circumstances that still have people raising their eyebrows to the ceiling. But it's what happened in the months before his death that'll make your blood run cold. The things he was saying. It's like he knew something was coming.
Following developing news tonight in Lancaster, where pop star Aaron Carter has died at the age of 34.
Yeah, the troubled performer grew up in the limelight, but he was in and out of rehab several times in his short life.
I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, you look like you have AIDS, you should go die. I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on me.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad.
In his final days, Aaron was literally screaming for help from the rooftops. The poor thing felt trapped in his own home, saying his realtor wouldn't even put the house on the market. Can you imagine being stuck in a place where you don't feel safe? These desperate cries for help hit different now, especially when you look at his connections to Hollywood's elite. And yes, darling, that includes our main character, Diddy.
Yeah, you think maybe when you get a little older, you mellow out a little bit, be able to mellow like him? Or
No, I don't
no,
think so.
nothing like
I think it's gonna get worse.
That's good. That's good. I think everybody will enjoy that.
There are these photos floating around of young Aaron hanging out with Diddy, and while it might look innocent at first glance, just a young star with an industry mogul, when you connect it to what we now know about Diddy's infamous parties, baby, it makes your skin crawl and your heart break all at once.
And you take opiates for surgeries that you've had in the past. Do you ever worry that you could ever overdose?
I mean, there's always that worry, but there's also the fact that I had to kiss my sister goodbye in the coffin.
The timing of Aaron's death is what really sends chills down my spine. Just as he started dropping hints about having explosive information about certain powerful figures, he was gone like a candle in the wind. It's absolutely heartbreaking to see such a bright young talent extinguish so suddenly, leaving us with a mountain of questions and very few answers. But here's what keeps me up at night, and I need to know what you think. Are we looking at the world's longest string of tragic coincidences? Or is there something much more sinister at play here, where anyone brave enough to speak out against Diddy somehow ends up leaving this world way too soon? The pattern is there, staring us right in the face, and it's getting harder and harder to ignore. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I am dying to hear what you think about all this. And while you're at it, smash that like button like it owes you money, and hit subscribe faster than Diddy changes his name. Trust me, you do not want to miss our next deep dive into the Diddy saga. I'm talking exclusive details, never before heard stories, and connections that'll make this look like a warm-up. Grab your popcorn, your notepad, and maybe a nightlight, because what's coming next is going to be absolutely wild. And remember, in this industry, secrets don't stay buried forever. They just need the right person to start digging. Stay tuned, stay safe, and stay woke, because in Hollywood, nothing is ever what it seems. Ever what it seems.